Is Osama bin Laden the ultimate inside trader? As the old investing adage goes,
not even the depths of a Pakistani cave can prevent the trader from trading.
On September 10th, 2001, 285 times the normal volume of put options were purchased on American Airlines, and that is only one of many other anomalies. But don't just take my word for it. This information is coming straight from the mouth of Dr. Hugh McDermott, a man with a broad depth of expertise in financial crime. As a brief summary, he was a litigator for a law firm in the Cayman Islands that specialized in financial crime, anti-money laundering, and anti-corruption practices. Senior manager for major fraud and international enforcement with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission. He taught graduate courses on counter-terrorist financing at the University of Sydney. I could keep going down the list of his credentials, but you get the idea. As mentioned earlier, on September 10th, 285 times the typical volume of put options were purchased on American Airlines. On September 6th, United Airlines had 6 times the normal volume of puts. Obviously, American and United were the two airlines whose planes were hijacked. While these are only two, albeit eyebrow-raising anecdotes, I have plenty of actual cold hard, peer-reviewed academic data for you as well. This information comes from the University of Chicago's School of Business. The author used historical options data for the 1,000 largest market caps from 1990 to September 4th, 2001, and also data from the 4 trading days preceding September 11th for American and United Airlines, to determine just how unusual this option activity really was. After gathering all this data, he created a few measures and organized them from lowest to highest. Once they are organized in this fashion, the airline option data from the days immediately before September 11th is compared. The measure that we will be focusing on is easy to understand, as it is a simple put-to-call ratio. If anyone wants to read into the more complex measures used in the paper, I have linked the article in the description. The highest put-to-call ratio occurred on September 6th for United Airlines, coming in at a whopping 105.42. This means that for every 1 call purchased, 105 puts were bought. To reduce randomness inherent with a single data point, the ratios for United and American Airlines during the 4 trading days before 9/11 were combined. This new ratio, which we will call ratio 4, was then compared to the put-to-call ratio 4 for the top 1,000 market caps from 1990 to 2001, using those same 4-day intervals. The combined ratio 4 for United and American Airlines ranks in the 89th quantile, which means that 89% of ratio 4s for all of these other 1,000 stocks were lower. To emphasize how unusual this is, there are typically about 252 trading days per year, depending on what dates holidays fall on. We also have the maximum available data points for the largest 1,000 stocks on each of these trading days for over a decade. That is, theoretically, 2.7 million data points. While United Airlines' largest put-to-call ratio was 105, American Airlines' highest daily put-to-call ratio was only 7 during the 4 trading days before 9/11. Both of these ratios, however, experienced much more extreme spikes than the SPX index did, which indicates this was not the result of some market-wide bearish trend. As you can see here, the SPX topped out at a ratio of 3.96. While American and United Airlines were the most obvious targets for puts, an entity with advanced knowledge could have also simply bought puts for the entire airline industry, which is possible via the S&P Airline Index. This is where things get a little wacky. In the 4 trading days leading up to September 11th, the daily put-to-call ratios on the index were in the 99th quantile when compared to that index's daily values dating all the way back to 1990. When using the ratio 4 for this index, it was in the 95th quantile. Unusual indeed. University of Chicago finance professor George Constantinides said that the option market trading was, quote, so striking that it's hard to attribute it to chance. And he was not the only one. Law professors John Coffey of Columbia University and James Cox from Duke voiced similar opinions based on the data. In the aftermath of 9/11, the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ remained closed until September 17th, which was the longest trading pause since the Great Depression. Additionally, a lot of brokerages and other financial firms had offices in the World Trade Center and were unable to function. One more suspicious fact for you: Morgan Stanley occupied 22 floors of the World Trade Center, and its stock averaged a mere purchasing of 27 puts per day during the year prior to September 6, 2001. But on the 3 trading days prior to 9/11, 2,157 puts were bought. Insurers were also on the hook for billions of dollars, and Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway was actually one of the biggest payers. Overall, approximately $40 billion in insurance payments resulted from the damage. In the months afterward, most insurers ceased to even cover terrorism, but Berkshire Hathaway remained as one of the few who still did. While the data I chose to focus on tells one story, there is another side to it as well. According to the 9/11 Commission, on September 6th, just 3 trading days before the attack, a singular institutional investor purchased 95% of the American Airline puts transacted that day. This was part of their larger investing strategy where they also purchased 115,000 shares. On September 10th. Good thing they hedged. Other irregularities in volume were partially attributed to an investing newsletter faxed out to its subscribers on September 9th that recommended trading against U.S. airlines. So, while there is no definitive proof insider trading occurred, there are still irregularities and anomalies surrounding the whole event. Like most conspiracies, we're left without a true answer.
Osama, did you buy the puts?
Aruba-duba-duba!